Weston from Weston's Learning Videos, and I'm going to be making the timeline of the solar system. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you subscribe. If you weren't following along, like my show about of what 108 could divide into, then you weren't following along. That's my first video on YouTube, and this is going to be my second. So, I think the Big Bang was like a big ball of dark matter, and we're going to do the timeline of this solar system. And I think it was like a big thing like that. And then what happened is it maybe exploded. And then once it did that, I think it gave birth to the sun 4.8 billion years ago, where some particles clumped together. And the Big Bang was made somewhere here, somewhere around the universe. And there could be another Big Bang in the future. And then once that happened, it first made stars that go into a group. It first made stars that go into a group. That the stars got into a group, and there was a lot more stars. And some of them went into a group called the Oort cloud. That's where some stars are in, even our sun. And that's when the sun was made. Now let's look at the planets. Now let's look at how the planets were made. The planets were made like this. The sun had a big spots on it that were where it was colder. But then those spots eventually warmed up, making the sun as bright as it is. But way back then, 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was born. And I didn't make that yet, but 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was born, and the sun looked kind of like this. And then Earth wasn't what you think it was today. Earth was covered in lava, and the sun made Earth with a ring around it, like the rings around Saturn. It's where lots of particles clumped together to make Earth. And the other planets, and like Mercury, Venus was looking the same all the time. But when Venus was born, Venus had water like Earth has water. Venus had it, but Earth didn't. And also Mars had water. And Mars looked a lot like Earth. I'm gonna make Mars and what it looked like. Make it. Here's what Mars looked like, and Earth looked like this when it was born. And here's Mars. It looks like Earth, but it's actually Mars, like you said. And then let's look, instead of not at our solar system, let's look at the Earth and the Sun. The Earth was a little bit closer to the Sun when it was. This time it would be 4.4 billion years ago when the moon was born. It's when a large planet collided with Earth, and its name was Theia. It was believed to come from another place. It got launched out of orbit to come to Earth. But then, what happened next is lots of asteroids fell onto the surface. And then, very slowly, the Earth began to fill up with water. Very slowly. And Earth didn't have any existing life but this time. That's when the first bodies of organisms came to life. And Earth was also very cold. It was going farther from the sun. And then what happened is remember when he told you that there was a large planet called Theia that crashed into Earth? What happened next is a lot of asteroids hit Earth, like that many each second, fell onto Earth, and the moon was closer to Earth. Have you ever wondered how far the moon is away from Earth? I can't remember, but here's the moon, and the moon protected Earth from lots of asteroids and comets. But there's something that also protects us from comets. It's a planet called Jupiter, and it's so big, and it protects comets and asteroids from crashing down to Earth. But did you know Mars has oxygen? Oxygen is what we breathe. Mars has 1% of that. But soon we'll colonize Mars and make it habitable. But then here is is when the Ice Age was when the Earth had an Ice Age. Bird, look how cold Earth is. Look how cold Earth is. Bird. And then what happened is Venus lost all of its water. And Mercury, well, it's getting smaller. Every year it shrinks by 1 foot. And a foot is like this big. About that big. But this is still the time where Earth had its moon. Mercury and Venus don't have moons. And this time actually Mercury was orbiting Venus. And then Mercury got ejected towards the sun. Let me show you how that went. Mercury got ejected towards the sun, out of Venus's orbit. It was very fastly, and it changed, and it didn't make any changes in the solar system. But Earth was changed. This is when Earth had the first animals on land. This is when Earth had the first animals roaming land. And then once that happened, there was a new supercontinent called Pangaea. In another video, I'll talk about Pangaea. And I'm gonna make what Pangaea looked like. Pangaea looked, I think, like this. And I'll draw the deserts on Pangaea. There was lots of deserts and places where there wasn't. And here's what Pangaea, I believe what it looked like was this. And then that. Play that. And there was 2 big oceans. There was the Tethys Ocean and some else ocean that I can't remember what it was. But here's the Tethys Ocean. Here's something ocean. But then, oh, paper. Paper. Oh, I know what we should get. This. And then once Pangaea was there, it split into 2 land masses, and then 4, and then 8, actually split into 8, but there's 7 continents. But it's split into 8. And here's what I think the Earth looks like now in South America and Africa and I can draw the continents of what I think it looks like today. And then and then here's 1 million years ago. Here's 256 million. And here's 599 million years ago. And here's 629 million years ago. And here's 1 billion years ago. Here's 4.5 billion years ago. Here's 4.5 billion years ago. And here's when the sun was born and the Oort cloud. That's 4.6 billion years ago. Here's 4.6 billion. Here's 4.7 billion. Here's 4.8 billion. Now it's done. I'll see you next, guys, in my video of Pangea. It's gonna be tomorrow.